Hey everybody, Dan with painfreeyou.com, and today's video, let me get out of the sun there. Yeah, let me spin around a little bit. Anyway, today's video is going to be about thinking versus feeling, and it's very clear in seeing a lot of the comments and a lot of people who message me. They're saying, you know, I've been at this for a long time and I can't figure out, trying to think why I've got this pain or what I'm missing. And so it's a feeling process. It is not a thinking process. So if you think you can sit down and go, let me think about my feelings. Yeah, I should be angry because, you know, mom did this and aunt did this, and let me think about this, let me think about that. Yeah, you know, you can justify all the things that should be making you angry, but are you truly stopping to feel them? And so, what do I mean by feel your emotions? You know, Adam Heller taught me this. Eddie Lindenstein talks about this. I'm sure Nicole does. But we feel our emotions in our body, right? When somebody hurts you, it feels like a kick in the gut. When somebody passes away, we've got a heavy heart. Right? When we get sad or are grieving, we feel all choked up, right? So we feel these emotions in our body, particularly our neck, choked up, heavy heart, and kick in the gut, and nervousness in our stomach, right? Anxiety oftentimes in our chest, like there's a weight, like there's a lot weighing on us. And so if you can't think of any reason why you should be in pain, or if you can't think of any reason why you're unhappy with your life as it is, it's because you're trying to think your way through it. And look, we are all very intelligent people, and sometimes we can try to think too much, and sometimes overthinking is what gets us in trouble in the first place, because again, overthinking about our lives and everything else gets us out of the present. We're thinking about our future and everything there, and we're thinking about our past and what are we actually doing today, you know. So thinking about things really is only so useful, but taking action, actually committing to a process where you can feel your emotions, is great. Somebody just today was saying, I really have a tough time figuring out what emotion it is. I don't know if I'm sad, I don't know if I'm angry. You know, it's very possible you're both, very likely, because a lot of things that make us sad also get us angry. A lot of things that make us angry we get sad about. So like, all these emotions are not isolated in nice little filing cabinets to be called upon individually. We have a whole range of emotions and they all blend together, and you know, into this big stew of negative emotions, if you will. And so my encouragement for you is, if you can't identify the word that describes your emotion, I don't know if I'm angry or sad. Don't worry about it. How do you feel? It's heavy on my chest. Oh, what's going on? What's wrong in your life? You know? And again, I don't like getting stuck in stories, but sometimes a little nudge on a story can kind of loosen things up for us. So for example, asking yourself, where is anger showing up in my life? When posed that way, you can say, oh yeah, I've got these 42 different things that make me angry. Where's sadness showing up? Where's grief showing up in your life? You know, where's resentment? That was yesterday's video. Where are these things showing up in your life? And I don't want you to dive deep into the story, but if you can say resentment, oh yeah, there's resentment for my parents because I had a less than ideal childhood and I was treated unfairly or unjustly or in a way that wasn't appropriate, and so we can hold on to resentment. And so what is resentment? Is that anger? Is that sadness? A little of both, but it's also, you know, this indignation of being treated unfairly and poorly. So resentment's different. It doesn't have to, you know, be defined as anger or sadness. Look, a lot of the experts say anger and rage is really the driving force. Sarno said that. But it could be a lot of things, and it usually is. And so if you are trying to think your way through this process, and you're trying to think and analyze and look for that little needle in the haystack emotion, that if you find that one little thing, you're going to be good, you're kind of missing the forest for the trees. In other words, you're looking for the tree, but you're not paying attention to the forest. The forest here is this overwhelming mashup of emotions that we're all carrying around with us at all times. And those of us who get better and get better quickly learn the lesson quickly that I have nothing to fear, because yes, the pain is in my body, it is real, but it's not caused by my body. It is caused by this stress response. Dr. Clark calls it a stress illness. You know, one of the guys on Facebook was talking about how his life is great. He doesn't know why he's in pain. He doesn't understand it. And you know, his family is great, and he's healthy, he's got a job, and he's got a house, and everything seems great. And on the surface, absolutely. But there's probably something underneath that I guess is not acceptable to him. And he can't seem to find it. And it's because it's in your unconscious, subconscious mind. You know, we're not consciously aware of the things we repress, which is why it sometimes takes a little bit of encouragement to get these emotions out. So the other question I have for you is, how easily do you give up? When you sit down and say, okay, it's okay, I am safe. What emotion am I feeling? How long do you sit with that? How many times do you ask and answer that question? How much time do you give yourself permission to feel this? Are you the type who's easily bored and easy to say, this isn't working, this is stupid, I'm not going to get there, I don't feel anything, nothing's coming up, so I can't do this, this isn't working. Then we go another 6 weeks before we really attempt any other type of process to get to these emotions that are at the root of all of this pain in the first place. And invariably, you know, when the pain spikes again or gets unbearable, you start looking for the answer again. And okay, I'm going to try this time. This time I'm going to do it. Look, it's a daily practice. It's not that big of a deal. It's not as difficult as it's made out to be. You know, it's called the work by a lot of the TMS experts. It's not work. It's allowing yourself to be human, giving yourself permission to feel your emotions. It's not work. If you define it as work, it's going to have this awful 4-letter word meaning, work. Work is a 4-letter word to a lot of us. But if you define things as work, you know, that's going to make it harder for you to get there, harder for you to commit to it, harder for you to wake up in the morning and say, yeah, I want to feel my emotions. I want to allow myself permission to feel all this stuff that I've locked away. And language matters. I had another little exchange with somebody who was saying, yes, this is really hard for me and this is really difficult. And my encouragement was to just take that last little bit. Everything else she typed in the previous comment was amazing. But then she said, but this is really difficult and it's really hard. And that starts to set her belief. We believe the things we tell ourselves most often. So if you tell yourself that getting better from chronic pain is really hard and it's really uncomfortable and oh, I felt all of these nasty emotions and then I found myself all wired up and ready to snap at the people around me. This is really hard, I don't like it, and all you're doing is now complaining about the process. You're turning this process, which is kind of natural feeling of human emotions, and turning it into this dangerous thing. And so let's say, you know, you do start to have a benefit with your pain symptoms, or even if you don't, but you're doing this process, you're allowing yourself to feel these emotions, and now all of a sudden you're feeling more depressed or more sad or, you know, more anxiety. Number one, that's perfectly normal. That happens to a lot of us. And so don't react to that. Just say, okay, well, you know, I'm uncovering some things that have been buried for a long time. That's normal. And if you truly allow yourself to feel these emotions, right, feel them, they will leave on their own once they've been felt. So to go back to the original topic, this is not a thinking process. It doesn't require a lot of analysis and brainstorming and spreadsheets and mind maps and all of this intellectual work here. It's truly a matter of giving yourself permission to feel your human emotions. And a lot of us have a lot of reason to be upset about a lot of stuff. Everything ranging from the resentment from our childhoods all the way through the resentments with our current situations in life, the partner, the lack of a partner, the way somebody just treated us, the ending of a relationship, the start of a new one, self-image is huge, guys and gals. Self-image is enormous. Dr. Clark, in his book, I love it, you should read it. It's called They Can't Find Anything Wrong. David Clark, MD. He talks about good partner, bad illness. And well, what does that mean? Because when you look at it, some of us, not all of us, some of us actually have very good home environments. We've got a great partner, a great spouse who's very understanding and very supportive, but yet we've got this really troublesome illness. And we look at our life and we go, I don't have it so bad. Got a good wife, a good husband, good kids, Yeah, daily stress, but I got it pretty good. Well, sometimes, the pain may not be coming from that situation. It's most likely not. But it may be coming from this feeling of unworthiness, like, I don't know that I deserve this. And this feeling of inadequacy, like, how did I get here to be so lucky with this, and I don't really deserve that because I've been told since I was a kid I'm stupid, I'll never amount to anything, and we achieve much higher levels above what our parents kind of really set for us as the bar. And so this unworthiness can sometimes rear its ugly head when you look around and say, most everything in my life is okay. I don't know why I have all of this stuff. So, I don't know. Don't try to think your way through it. Feel it. From your chin to your belly. Feel those areas. And when I say feel them, I mean really sit still, breathe deep, and notice if you feel any sensations in those parts of your body. Just notice. And what you may find is that you'll get a little clenching in your throat. And if you can name it, great. If you can't, still just sit with it. That doesn't mean that process is useless if you don't put a name on it. The labels are less important than allowing yourself the permission to just feel overwhelmed and awful and stressed out and whatever the feelings are. So don't try to think your way through this if you are the analytical type. This is no time for being analytical. This is a time to truly just allow yourself to feel emotions. And if you're having a tough time feeling it, don't quit so quickly. Don't give up. Don't say, I can't do this, this isn't working, this is stupid, and then quit, and then do nothing for weeks on end. Because I can assure you that if you do nothing for weeks on end, the repression is still playing, the subconscious bucket is filling up and up and up and up, and when it spills over, that's when the pain either starts or gets worse or new symptoms happen. And by the way, one other thing, just a thought I had, is if you start to do these processes and you start to make some progress and my back is actually easing up, but oh boy, now my shoulder's killing me. That doesn't mean it's time to freak out again. That means you're on the right track, right? You've got it on the run. And so new symptoms mean you're being successful. It means the process is working. It doesn't mean there's double reason to be despondent about this because now you've got a shoulder problem and you're still worried about your back. It just means that it's proof that it is distraction pain and diversion pain and that you're on the right track. So again, guys, try not to think too much. Leave this out of it. Feel more. So hopefully you like this video. I appreciate all the love for yesterday's video. Lots and lots of comments, so keep them coming. I love engaging with you folks and hearing what's going on in your world. So we'll talk soon. Thank you.